When Forbes published its very first ranking of the world's highest-paid athletes back in 1990, the sport that dominated the list wasn't basketball, soccer, or golf. It was boxing. Mike Tyson, at the absolute peak of his terrifying prime, commanded enormous purses for fights that often lasted only a few rounds, and boxers took all three of the top spots on that very first published list. Through the mid-1990s, a new name took over the top of the rankings almost entirely: Michael Jordan. While Jordan's actual on-court playing salary was surprisingly modest by today's standards, his historic endorsement partnership with Nike, signed all the way back in 1984 before his rookie season even began, quietly became one of the single most lucrative deals in the entire history of sports, one that keeps generating substantial income for Jordan even decades after he played his final professional game. Then, starting in 2002, one golfer began a run of dominance that nobody in any sport has fully matched since. Tiger Woods topped the Forbes earnings list an incredible 11 separate times between 2002 and 2013, at his absolute peak earning well over $100 million in a single year, almost entirely from endorsement deals, even during years when injuries severely limited his actual time out on the course competing. Boxing came roaring back into the spotlight in 2015, when Floyd Mayweather's long-awaited super fight against Manny Pacquiao generated a single payday of $300 million, instantly becoming the largest single-year earnings total that Forbes had ever recorded for any athlete in any sport up to that point. He very nearly matched that same total again in 2018 with an unusual and lucrative crossover fight against UFC star Conor McGregor, who himself briefly rocketed up the earnings rankings thanks largely to a business deal selling his Irish whiskey brand rather than anything he did inside the octagon. Meanwhile, soccer's two biggest global icons of the era, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, spent the following decade locked in a rivalry that extended well beyond the field of play and directly into their respective bank accounts, each posting enormous salary and endorsement totals season after season as their clubs competed fiercely to keep them happy. Messi's Barcelona salary alone made him the world's outright highest-paid athlete in 2019. LeBron James, meanwhile, quietly built one of the most consistent and durable earning careers in the entire history of professional sports, steadily climbing the rankings for nearly 2 decades without ever depending on one single spectacular payday the way boxers so often do. By the mid-2020s, Ronaldo's blockbuster move to Saudi Arabia's Al Nassr had pushed his annual earnings to genuinely unprecedented heights for an active soccer player anywhere in the world. And in 2026, he finally matched Floyd Mayweather's long-standing single-year earnings record, taking home $300 million in just 12 months, a figure that had taken boxing's biggest ever star an entire legendary career to first establish, all the way back in 2015.